So to start out the year in January, the oracle card I picked was Balancing Act. The tarot card we have is the Ace of Swords, and the Sovereign Oracle as a clarifier is talking about vitality. Now let's start with Balancing Act. There's a lot going on usually at the beginning of the year, New Year's. You may have people staying over. We've just been through New Year. This card is talking about not overdoing it, maybe just walking that middle path so that you don't end up too trashed after New Year. Because the Ace of Swords is saying that you've got some massive clarity on the way. So good to have a clear mind to take that in. You've got, big aha moments of lucidity coming and fresh visions for the future. So it's a great way to start out 2022 actually with the Ace of Swords, because it is all about the intellect and just coming straight from your mind. Its mantra is, I experience brilliant moments of clarity. So if at the beginning of the month you're feeling a little bit, I'm not quite sure which way I'm going, I'm a bit foggy, then I think you're going to find by the end of the month you're going to have had a few epiphanies. Now, the best way to grab those, I think vitality is talking about protect your energy, invite life-affirming relationships, release energy vampires. Beginning of the year is a great time to do that. Honor your body's requests. So staying balanced in body, mind, and spirit is going to help you move forward quite a bit as well. So that's a kind of a fairly brilliant way to start the year. Walk that middle path, as the Taoist said. Don't get too excited. Don't get too panicked about anything. Just be in the observer mode. And that's really the best way to pick up those little messages from the universe. So in February, the oracle card I picked was Moonlight. The tarot card is the Hierophant, and the Sovereign Oracle is saying we need a bit of stimulus. Now, this is so interesting because Moonlight and the Hierophant together are practically saying the same thing. The Moonlight card is telling you that your intuition allows you to see beyond the mundane, logical, analytical side of things, and that you need to kind of follow that, do a bit of thinking outside the box. Don't be second guessing yourself if you think it's a bit odd, the track you're on. Just keep following it and see where it leads, because it's going to prove to be quite beneficial. Symbology, look for the symbology. If you have dreams, if you've got animals in those dreams, go look up what they mean. It's saying that really spirit is sending you messages, and if you follow them, then you're going to be successful. Now, the Hierophant is very much about enlightenment, being guided, service to spirit, new paradigms again, education and training. It's also on the shadow side of things, it's about outdated systems and getting rid of all the dogma and rebelling against the social norms and all of that. It's really about just finding your own power, your own guidance, getting into your own thing. So it's saying, as you search for divine truth, you have to realize that your consciousness is creating your reality right here, right now. We know that. Anybody who reads my books or listens to me constantly knows that I'm all about just, having a tete-a-tete with the universe and having it bring in what you're after. Now, if you don't know what you're after, and I think that's what this month is really more about, is you may have had an epiphany last month, but maybe you're not quite sure how to go about it, or you don't have the tools you need, and so you're looking for that. But this card the mantra of this card is about, I am my own guru, and the guidance I need is rooted in my faith, my belief, and my unique existence. So what it's saying is that basically you have all the answers. Now, if you don't have the answers, stimulus is here to tell you that it's time to actively seek out your new inspiration. Look to other arenas to find your aha. Do something novel to call in your muse. There's all sorts of ways that you can call in the muse. Me as a writer, I will listen to music that takes me wherever I want to go in the story. Or artists, I think that's really, really good for too. Going out and walking, going to a space that inspires you, art gallery, whatever. Do whatever you have to do, and maybe something out of the normal, like maybe again, even just listening to this reading is kind of under the onus of these cards. It's saying that seeking oracles or listening to oracles are really, really important at this time, and looking for those messages. And if you take them and you run with them, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. So in March, we've got a bit of fateful meetings kind of happening. I picked from the oracle cards, I picked the magical map shifter. From the tarot, we have strength, and the sovereign oracle is asking us to ask. So the magical map shifter, let's start there. This is telling you that spirit orchestrates everyone's destiny. So maybe you've decided what you want to do, and now you're kind of looking for the tools or people to help you. And I'm a firm believer in drawing to yourself, not going out and looking, but bringing what you need to you. And the way you do that is through co-creating with the universe, or having a little tete-a-tete. So when it comes to your personal mission this month, you could well meet someone who might be classified as a soulmate, not as in a lover, that kind of a person. Here, soulmate is in the term of somebody who pushes you to be the best you, who can lead you out of a place of difficulty and into a place of safety, or open doors for you. So you need to sort of pay attention to who you're bumping into, and really don't take anybody for granted, because you never know what a person, especially a stranger's skill sets are, or the connections that they have. So this magical map shifter will always leave you in a better place than when they found you. So whoever's coming into your life is coming for a reason, and they're going to be helpful. Now, strength is obviously about, courage and calmness, and having purity of thought and compassion and animal instinct, actually. So your instinct will probably be pretty on the money this month. So if you feel like somebody is really interesting, you feel compelled to go introduce yourself, or just sit down and have a long conversation, absolutely go with that, because you never know where it's going to lead to. This card says, like its mantra is, I deliberately bring my compassion and strength forward, and I use them for good. And so whatever this project is, it could very much have to do with healing others, helping others, or, even just helping yourself, really. Because I think when you're in a good place, that has an ongoing knock-on effect. Now, the Sovereign Oracle Ask card is saying, requesting takes courage. Verbalize your need for support. Give someone the gift of being an important part of your hero's journey. Delegate it to your guides, which again is asking the universe and telling it to bring the right person to you. Now, I've done this very, very often in my life, and it does actually work, and it doesn't even matter how outrageous that claim is, because believe you me, I've made some pretty outrageous ones. But when you're very, very clear about what you want, that's exactly what you get. But be clear, because try and take in all those variables, because sometimes, you get what you ask for and it's not kind of what you expected. So just be clear in your mind and heart, and be compassionate, and just let the universe have its say and influence over where you're going. So for the month of April, the oracle card I picked was listening. The tarot card is the Hanged Man, and the Sovereign Oracle is asking us to release. Now, let's start with the listening card. And I will notice that the last three cards from the Oracle deck have been 51, 52, and 53. So they're running in order, and I shuffle these cards all the time. So that's really interesting. I would think that's kind of indicating that over these first 4 months of the year, we're making kind of steady progress. And it may not be as fast as you want, but it's certainly coming along. With the listen card, it's about obviously listening, but it's about listening to not so much what is said, but what is laying underneath, because sometimes like the true meaning is not immediately obvious with everyone. If you listen with your heart and not your ears, you'll find clarity, because you'll notice this elephant, it's got this little bird sitting on his head and the bird's chirping away. And the elephant is listening contently, even though it's a huge beast, really, and it could just shake this bird off. But it has the intelligence to actually listen to what is being said to it. This is a fortunate sign and ensures a greater understanding of your circumstances. So you are going to find clarity through listening to others rather than the other way around, although you will be able to help others as well. Now, the hangman, I love the way it's depicted in this card. I mean, she's got moves, this girl, and she's not hung, as in doesn't know where she's going, but she is trusting in the universe. She's surrendered her will, and she's just letting it come to her. She's got a newfound wisdom, and she's been enlightened. I mean, look at that light right behind her third eye there. So don't be fooled into thinking that you're not getting anywhere or you're stagnating. You're not. You're growing. It's moving forward. So don't get stubborn and don't play the martyr. It's going to be fine. You actually are getting somewhere. You have to flow. Be in flow with everything this month, because wisdom spills forth in deep moments of flow. And the hangman is offering you the chance to look at something from a completely different perspective. That's why she's hanging upside down. And I think maybe this little bird that you're listening to is helping you see something from a new perspective. Know your path and just dream away. You know, I do it all the time. I've been when I write books, I'll listen to music and I'll just let my mind go, and I get the most amazing ideas coming in when you're not trying to control everything your brain is thinking. The universe already knows that, you know, what life-altering lessons are going to bring you happiness, are going to connect you to your higher self, and bring you the wisdom you need to, pause and listen. This one too is talking about listening. God, it's crazy, isn't it? Even when you pull from different decks and different cards, they have the same message. So the big message this month is to listen. And this card's mantra is, I lean into my inner world of limitless miracles, surrendering to the divine will of the cosmos. So it is about being in flow. Now, release is saying, let it go and it will go where it most needs to be. Resist the urge to control things, which is exactly what the hangman is saying as well. Breathe deep into your body and let your muscles relax. Everything is as it should be. So that's what it's all about. Trust and listening in April. So in May, we have come together from the Oracle cards, and we have the Knight of Wands from the Tarot, and the Sovereign Oracle is talking about order. Now that's probably because you've got this looks a little bit conflicting because it's saying come together, but the Knight of Wands is really all about being a sort of solo creative free spirit. So I think you've probably got a bit of a balancing act going on this month. It's telling you that love has to be shared. So, I mean, you may be this wonderful creative spirit who's really on fire right now. But if you have nobody to share it with, or no one to share the joy with, or celebrate with your triumphs, then, that's not quite as exciting. So it's maybe probably being a little bit mindful of the people that are around you while you're firing. Maybe not everybody is firing like you. And that doesn't mean to say that you should dim your light, but rather maybe reinforce them, like help them to find their light, or inspire them to find their light or their passion, and encourage them to keep moving, because it is entirely possible to create whatever you want in this life. Some people feel that they're so trapped, when really that is not true at all. You can make a choice tomorrow not to be trapped. So let's have a look at come together first. And it says love needs to be shared. This card is also assuring you that, love is calling for a partner in its dance, basically, whether that's a good friend, whether that's a business partner, whether that's a family member. If you should be giving out a little bit of love this month, but it's also telling you that you are loved, and that this is a time for harmonious and caring relationships, which is great. And I mean, maybe that's exactly what is giving you the fire to be this Knight of Wands, to be this creative free spirit and have that youthful spark. And it's also about brainstorming, so you could be brainstorming with somebody else, and that's kind of sharing the love as well. I know when I used to, and I still do with my editor, throw ideas around for the books and stuff and see what other people are excited about, and it kind of reaffirms the way you're going. And so this card is really about insights coming, and you formalizing plans. So if you've been a little bit vague, or it's all sort of been slowly coming together through the first few months, I think in May you're finally finding your stride, and you've got a very good idea of where you want to go, because your imagination's firing. You've got no lack of ambition and drive at this time. You're just really, really ready to go for it. This card's mantra is, as the dreamer of my dream, I spontaneously and passionately ignite this flame. So yeah, she's very fiery, this one, and having such a great time doing it. Now, order is saying, find a drawer and organize it, literally or metaphorically. Take command and aim for your desired result. Find the right sequence and be careful of perfectionism. Now, that's great, because the Knight of Wands, she's really not about perfectionism. She's about just going for it and having fun. But I think the order comes in, I'm surprised it's actually not balance as the word, is this balancing between doing your own thing and being there for other people as well. So, wow, we've got a bit of a wow month in June. And we're also continuing that run that we had in February, March, April. I've just pulled number 54 in that run of cards. Now, like I said, I shuffle these cards all the time. So again, we're making massive progress in June. I think maybe May was getting things organized, getting things done, but really June is moving forward in a big way. You're being encouraged. That's the card encouragement that I picked from the Oracle deck. And then the Eight of Wands has come up from the Tarot, which is all about, messages coming quickly. And experience is calling us to have some, I would think. So let's start with encouragement. Now, this card is really telling you that you're stepping into your power right now, you're heading towards that dream, whatever it is that you've been chasing. There's new things to be explored. The universe is giving you a nudge in the right direction. You'll get the help you need. You won't be alone in your quest. Every step you take right now is supported by the wisdom of the universe. You're on the right path and you just need to keep going. Now, the Eight of Swords is about speed. It's about velocity, travel, coming to a positive resolution and making decisions on like the turn of a dime. It's action, action, action. So, it's one of those moments in life where you feel like you're sprinting, which is really great. You're inspired, you're on fire. This is carried over from last month as well. And it's all really, really positive. If you've got a feeling, like a gut feeling that needs to be acted upon, just listen to it, go with it. Avoid being swept along by unpredictable kind of flighty vibes as well, because otherwise you'll get those moments where you lock your keys in your car or a message gets sent off to the wrong person. So, remember to take a breath in all of this. Constant movement is going to feel like it's right now. Sometimes you just have enough energy to just keep going. Make sure you're nurtured, as in like you take care of your health, because you are being encouraged by the universe and it is assisting you in a big way this month. The mantra for the Eight of Swords is it's go time. I fall into the flow of this quickening energy and I swiftly face my desires head on. And June is going to be fantastic. Now, experience is saying, acknowledge what it took to get where you are. Be patient with the new endeavors. Some paths need time to unfold. It doesn't matter what time you arrive at the party. The future is waiting and you are ready now. Well, you sure are. And it's not actually waiting. I think it's like it's coming at you at 1,000,000 miles an hour. And you're going to be able to keep up. But yeah, just keep track of where your keys are. So in July, you're definitely in charge of either your own life or the office or the household or whatever. You're in a leadership role here in July. Now, the card that I picked from the Oracle cards is Spirit of Place, which talks about authenticity being the essence of true power. Now, the card that I picked from the Tarot is the Emperor, which is really about being a leader and being a leader that is generous and is analytical and is, thinking on his feet all the time, very good at promotion, all that sort of stuff. The one thing about being in a position of authority is being sure that you're not being too rigid, not, my way or the highway. That's really not going to work for you this month. What's going to work is being authentic. So let's start with Spirit of Play. And the Sovereign Oracle is asking us about our resolve, to watch our resolve. So let's start with Spirit of Place. Authenticity is the essence of true power. So as our ancient ancestors believed that spirit everywhere has a spirit, like land-wise speaking. If you've ever lived out in the bush, you would know this. There's definitely a spirit of the land, and it will either embrace you and help you, or it will reject you. I was fortunate to be embraced when I lived out in the country, and I think it saved my butt many times. I remember once hearing a tree cracking in the middle of the night and just praying it didn't land on the house. It didn't, which was fabulous, although next door's water tank was fairly well damaged. But I digress. So you can definitely have a connection with the place that you are, but it's also about your connection with yourself, with where you're at, as well as a spirit of place, where I'm at right now. And it's about letting go and not trying to control the situation. You're going to get the best results if you embody what it is you're after. Like if you're after fair play, be fair. If you're looking for love, embody love, be loving, and you'll just attract what it is that you want. Like frequencies attract each other. So it's like, when you spend money to make money, that kind of thing. So Spirit of Place is really telling you that, yes, authenticity is going to be your best tool this month. And with the Emperor and being in charge, that's some very good advice, because the Emperor is a natural leader. He has ambitions and success, and it is the divine masculine, so it is being very forthright, and but you don't have to be forceful to be in your divine masculine. You can just have that wonderful inner strength and be open to listening to others and expressing yourself clearly without being overbearing, because really the Emperor is all about serving the people, not serving himself, although a lot of our leaders probably could use a lesson from this card. But it could also have to do with, you having to work within the establishment and kind of also getting over your own problems with authority or control or willpower. So you may have to work your magic within the confines of an establishment. But, really, once you know the rules, it's fairly easy to get around them. Stay flexible and keenly aware of your own energetic boundaries and what your motives are. And find the opportunities to be of service to others as you build your empire. Step into this fiery energy and just embody confidence and passionate leadership and exercise sovereignty over your own reality, more than over others, and the world is yours in that regard. So the mantra of this card is, I lead the circumstances in my world with confidence, harmony, and generosity. And I would add authenticity to that. Now, the Sovereign Oracle is talking about your resolve, and it says, align to the heart of your desire and then fan the flames of action. Great feats are possible. Find validation in past successes. Let your will be stronger than your self-doubt. Now, no emperor will doubt himself. Okay, so kind of stand in that fiery energy and know that you're in the right place at the right time, and everything you could possibly need is working for you right now. So in August is a happy time this year. Oh my gosh, these cards are just saying it. Peaks of Joy from the Oracle deck, which is really all about, being filled with happiness and remembering to share it with others, like literally jumping for joy. And the Empress is very much about, unification of the body, mind, and spirit, unconditional love, abundance, embracing your whole inner goddess, really, where the previous month was the Emperor. So again, the Empress precedes the Emperor in the cards, but interesting that they came out together. So this month, after having your kind of divine masculine working hard for you in July, this month it's kind of the divine feminine that's going to work for you better, a bit of a softer energy, more happy, joy, la la la. But I will also mention at this stage that 5 of the 8 months that we've had so far are major arcana cards, like major things happening in February, March, April, July, and August so far. So let's start with Peaks of Joy. It's really saying that, joy is yours right now, and that no matter what your question is, the answer is a resounding yes. You're coming to a sense of achievement, knowing you've worked hard for it, and enjoying your success. There's events that are very synchronous that have been bringing you to the next level of your life, really. and you've been following it and following your intuition, and it's paid off. So it's basically saying, the birds are singing and life's exhilarating and there's lots of hope for you. So don't forget to share the joy, because joy is really contagious. So the people around you are going to benefit from this energy as well. Now, the Empress, again, she really is very, relates to Gaia, like Mother Earth, bringing dreams from the ethereal realm down to earth and grounding them and sharing them and birthing them. It's very bountiful and abundant, and she's always available to you. It's just that in August, I think, wow, you're just so on top of things that you're just really feeling that divine goddess kind of energy. You may also have a project that's ready to be birthed at this time. Maybe you've been building up to this all year. So just continue, being creative and shining your light. Clearly, with the Peaks of Joy card, you are. So just continue to move calmly and gracefully in the direction that whispers yes to you. This card is often affirming that you're on the right track, so just keep going. Be beautiful, and work with nature instead of against it. The mantra of the Empress is, I am ready to give birth to my abundantly rich future, which clearly you are. You've been working up to this all year, and now things are really paying off. Now, the Sovereign Oracle is talking about visibility. It's saying to claim your bright light. Your perfect co-creators are seeking you out. Allow yourself to be seen. It's safe to be witnessed. So, when you're about to give birth to something, you can be a little bit nervous, but you are bursting for joy. So I'd say that there's a big project or a new family member or something that is a real cause for celebration in August. So after all the activity of the previous months, September is definitely calling you to slow down. The card I pulled from the Oracle deck is Deep Freeze, and we can see this lion is having a nice little snooze there. And then from the Tarot, I got the King of Cups, and it's the Sovereign Oracle is talking about ritual this month. So let's start with Deep Freeze, and it's saying everything has its season, and now is the time to put activity away and just rest for a little bit, because your projects could actually need time to kind of shift and change. Relationships can go through that dreamy state of being and not really going anywhere and not needing to go anywhere. It's kind of that feeling you get on a rainy day, but it's the whole month, as in just taking it easy, having lovely cups of tea, reading, nurturing yourself, basically. It's also time to put any arguments on ice, like nothing beneficial is going to come from them. You really need to be focusing on self-care and not agitating yourself. So, reflect, read a good book, get a massage. It's time to dream and just let everything unfold in its own good time. Now, the King of Cups, he's very nurturing. And so it, again, is just reaffirming that you really need to be good to yourself and good with other people too. The King of Cups is very nurturing. He's very patient. It's a very meditative energy. It's about finding that sweet spot between an empathetic heart and an intelligent mind. This is the key to successful leadership. And like I said, last month or a few months ago, actually, you could have been put in a leadership role. And so just check yourself and make sure that you're still coming from a good space. If you're in a situation that's asking you to navigate a tumultuous kind of event or energy, find your grounded serenity by calmly choosing to be kind and careful and diplomatic over being forceful, because this king can be a little bit of a drama queen if he's let loose. So you don't want that. That's not the way. And especially with, this deep freeze going on, you want to be taking everything really, really easy, and maybe delegating even, and letting other people take the reins for the moment. So seek to, be at one with others and understand them, listen to them, be tolerant, compassionate, and emotional fulfillment will be yours. That's what this king promises. He says, "My heart holds deep wisdom and love, and I use it to connect and lead." Now, the Sovereign Oracle speaks of ritual. It says, "Seek joy in repetition. Explore the sacredness of the task at hand. Be intentional with your time." And the way you should be being intentional with your time this month is, how can I relax? How can I pamper myself? How can I step back and take a moment to take a breath? So October, we're flying high in October. This is so gorgeous. We have two cards where the main object in the card is levitating or flying, which tends to indicate that this is going to be a fabulous month. Now, flying is the card that I picked from the Oracle cards. Then we have the Hermit from the regular tarot deck, which again is a major arcana card. And the Sovereign Oracle is talking about us having an epiphany, and that's not surprising with these two cards. So flying is saying that you have the power to see things from a higher perspective, because when you're flying, like when you've got a bird's eye view of a situation, then you're kind of soaring above the challenges. You can see the opportunities, and a new perspective becomes available. It's saying that you've got invisible wings right now that will bring your circumstances into alignment with your higher purpose. Your hard work has paid off, and things that you hope for are now within your grasp. Those doors are opening. You have the ability to reach for the stars and spread your wings and soar, as it were. And with the Hermit card, I mean, usually, you have someone who's hermiting themselves away. But on this particular Hermit card, you've got a little levitating girl that's been enlightened, and that's what hermiting away is about. So I think it's maybe a little bit of a hangover from last month, where you are still kind of keeping to yourself. I'm kind of getting work at home vibes, maybe, where you're kind of getting on with it, but you're doing it from the comfort of your home. October is a time when you are going to be seeking some of that solitary withdrawal, which is going to help you connect to your own compass and your soul purpose, and that deep inner wisdom. I call, your higher self, interdweller, universe, whatever you want to call it. It's giving you that kind of insight, but you have to be careful that you're kind of not being so introspective that you're losing your connection with others as well, because maybe you really enjoyed last month's kind of deep freeze and you kind of don't want to come out, as it were. But this card is a card of self-discovery, of having an epiphany, which we'll get to in a second. The mantra of the Hermit is inner sage, inner mentor, inner guide. Show me my brightest light so that I may see with all of my heart, which is really, really lovely, which is basically an epiphany, right? An epiphany is saying, trust the aha. Don't wait for the download. Explore the curiosities now, and the truth will find you. Ask your dreams to guide you. You have the answer. And so October you are, you're set for that epiphany, that thing that is going to trigger that aha moment that is going to get you to the next level. So it looks like November's going to be fun. We've got a bit of romance here and a lot of abundance. So, and astral vision. So, we've got kind of heart and mind and spirit, really. So to start with, I pulled Golden Palace from the Oracle cards, and it's saying that there's always enough, Then we've got the Knight of Cups, who is that classic romantic sweep you off your feet. And then we have the Sovereign Oracle talking about astral visions. So this is about being in touch with your emotions, I think, and actually in touch, like knowing you are enough and you have enough, because Golden Palace, it is very obvious. This is about, having your ambitions fulfilled, having wealth and prosperity. It's also emotional fulfillment, as perhaps you're kind of entering a time of happiness that's long overdue. Perhaps you've been working too hard and forgetting to really play hard as well. So no matter how abundant your life is, it really comes down to who you are and how authentically you live your life. That's really true abundance, knowing that you're authentic and that you're living your life the way that you want to. This card does actually indicate some sort of material gain as well. So you could have money coming at you in November, but money comes and goes, and your true values, your inner self, what are the greatest riches you have. Now with the Knight of Cups here, this is, oh my God, hopeless romantic, swept off your feet. This is roses and bubble baths and champagne and fully devoted to you for like a day, maybe every day. But this knight is really in love with the idea of being in love, and he can be very faithful, but he's also gets bored fairly quickly. It could be quite exhausting, but if you're ready to be swept off your feet and you're ready to have a good time, then absolutely. I don't usually bring people into it. This is really more of an archetype, and the Knight of Cups is really more about being in touch with your emotions, taking your inspiration and just running with it and making art and music and love and, making your life your masterpiece, basically. Now, astral vision here, and his mantra is literally, I am in touch with my emotions. So there you go. Astral vision is talking about use your higher insight, map out what is destined to be, breathe, and take small steps. 3D takes time to manifest. And that is true because the universe does have its own timing as well. Like, you may want things to happen really quickly, snap, snap. But sometimes the timing just isn't right. Like, I wanted to be making films out of my books 20, 30 years ago. But really, I think they're going to come across far more amazing now with the technology that we have and the budgets that we have and the skill set of people that are out there. So, some things, you could rush into them, but they're just not meant to be at this particular moment, and you have to be patient. But I think while you're being patient, there's romance here, there's abundance, there's feeling good about yourself. So I think November's going to be fairly sweet. So what a fantastic way to finish off the year. From the Oracle deck, I've pulled wide open, and from the Tarot deck is the Three of Cups, which is all about celebrating, and the Sovereign Oracle is telling us that we're about to give birth. not literally, obviously, but that's amazing because you've got offers and stuff coming. And that's what this first card is saying, wide open. You're free to express your uniqueness to the world and share in all the bounty of life's endless possibilities. So you've got opportunities definitely coming to you at the moment. You've been able to manifest your dreams, your goals are in sight. You're expanding your horizons. Like this girl, you can see that she's just standing on top of this rock, and basically the world is her oyster. And that is what this is saying. The universe is supporting you right now. You've got a unique voice that needs to be expressed to the world, and you can speak up and speak out, and people are going to be listening. This card is like the sign of the maverick who just freely roams into wide open spaces of possibility. So just allow for a greater vision to replace old ideas and just dream really grand. And the Three of Cups over here, which is just so beautiful for the end of the year, is, all about friendships and abundance and cooperating and community and closeness and joy and soul contracts, kindred, that sort of thing. And this puts you on notice that, all your kindred connections are coming together. And they're not always defined by blood. These can be friends as well, like deep friendships and families that we choose to be with are going to be around you at this time and kind of cheering you on. Companions serve as mirrors, and they allow us to see who we truly are. So if you love your friends, know that you are loved. And if you think they're all fabulous, well, that pretty well indicates that you're pretty fabulous too. So obviously December is a time of celebrating, and this will be December 2022, and I hope that by then we're all really free to celebrate with who we want, where we want. If there's any important connections that have gone by the wayside, it's going to be a really good time to make amends. And this card is telling you, like its mantra is, I connect into this sacred siblinghood and into this expansive experience of witnessing through time. Because that's the thing with the people that are closest to you. They're the ones that share your memories. They're the ones that share those beautiful experiences and can sit around with the fire with you when you're old and recollect, because that's the beauty of sharing experiences. Those things that you might have forgotten, somebody else brings them up later on, and you get to be filled with joy all over again. Now, the Sovereign Oracle card for this month is Birth. Find your sacred creative womb space, whether it's time, tools, or literal space. Seek the appropriate midwife. Trust the process. All will be revealed in due time. So this is a really great way to be ending off the year, because you've got things coming at you, and it's always the way. I hate when things start really, really happening at Christmas, because everybody then shuts down for Christmas, New Year, and it takes everything a while to get going again. But I think you're ending the year in a really, really beautiful place, and with all your kindred, all those people you love the most.